All right, so this is Jimmy Yin with ACHIEVE10X TV, and I'm super excited to have with me Meredith West, who is a local realtor. And just to, showcase what she's doing during this pandemic, her and her company, what sets them apart, because it's probably, very hard. And probably one of the questions we're going to tackle is it's hard to sell a house right now, or maybe even to buy a house, or I don't know. It appears from the general public, it may seem hard to sell a house right now, or and to buy a house. But we're going to ask Meredith. And so Meredith, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Meredith West, and I work with Fox Realty in the Austin area as a realtor.
Nice. And so how long have you been a realtor?
I've been a realtor for 2 years, but I've been in the industry over 15. Before I became a realtor, I worked for a home builder as a designer.
Oh, okay, nice. And so talk about Fox Realty. How does Fox Realty differ from every other realtor companies?
So, in addition to just having knowledge about real estate and passion for helping our clients, we're also really passionate about giving back, which is one reason I decided to work with Fox Realty when I became a realtor. We give a portion of every commission that we earn to a local charity that we feel passionate about as well. Right now we're supporting Williamson County Children's Advocacy Center.
Mm-hmm.
It's an organization that helps victims of child abuse, provides them with resources. So we're currently providing them with some funding just by doing our job.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what would you say, there's so many realtors and there's so many local realtors, right? So what separates you, from, well, what's your specialty, or what separates you from everybody else?
I just try to really build relationships with my clients, find out what they want, how I can help them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really passionate about people in general, so I think that lends itself well to this job. In addition, just being an Austinite, growing up here, being familiar with town, working for a builder for 10 years, I was part of so many neighborhoods that opened during those 10 years I was there. So just the familiarity with all the suburbs and areas of town, I would say, is something that is not common because a lot of people moved here and are not from here.
Okay. So what I hear is that, because you're an Austinite, you're more familiar with this area. And so you're not coming in like from out of state and just a realtor trying to, sell and not so I would say you understand this area a lot more than.
Yeah, I've seen it grow, and working for a builder too for so long, we opened, I would say probably I was part of opening 100 neighborhoods around town.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot. So, I made it somehow through the crisis in 2008 and clung to my job. So I've been through the roller coaster as well. Even though I was a designer, it affects your pay. There's not a lot of job security. I've seen the cycles. And so I would just say that that's something that might be unique about working with me.
Okay, good. And so, so the question, like I asked in the beginning of this, is it hard for people who want to sell their house? Is it hard for them to sell their house right now?
So yes and no. I'm still seeing stuff sell. I think the days on market might be extending a little bit. Austin's kind of unique. We've just had really low inventory for a while, so stuff it's continuing to sell. To sellers, I would say if you're not quite comfortable yet listing, but you could just go ahead and start getting your house ready while you've got some extra time. If you do need to go ahead and list, I'm seeing a lot of listings now have virtual tours that can prevent the flow of people through your home by providing that. You can also have people wear protective wear to enter your home.
Yeah.
So just following the social distancing guidelines with people coming into your house, if you do have to go ahead and list. And then because some people are holding back, they're and waiting to see what happens, you know, you'll have a little less competition from other sellers.
Okay. So it actually, what you're saying, it might actually be an opportunity.
I'd say it could be either. You know, it depends on a lot. What price point is your house? What condition is it in? The ones that are pretty move-in ready, that are remodeled, especially in Cedar Park, are still selling super fast. So if that was your house and you have somewhere you need to be, I would probably say, well, let's list it and see what happens.
So you're saying that some of the houses are being sold still pretty quickly. Have you identified what is the cause of why those? I think you mentioned one of them was move-in ready. Is there any other things that you've identified that will help you get your house sold quicker during this pandemic?
Definitely the virtual tours. There's the new Matterport format doing tours of the homes. That's really fascinating. That'll help people rule out yes or no, the buyers watching it. There's even buyers out of state buying homes based on these virtual tours. So I would say that's something that would definitely help you sell the house if you need to go ahead and list it.
So you're doing the virtual tours. How does someone get the virtual tour done?
Well, some brokerages have the, you know, cameras and software. I personally hire a photographer that provides all those services, as I cover it as the realtor for the listing agent.
Okay. Okay, nice. So anything else that people, like if people are considering whether to sell their house or not right now, what are some considerations they need to think about to determine, yes, I should wait, or no, I should put it on the market right now?
I would say it probably depends about their situation. If they need to move somewhere else, you could just go ahead and list it. If they know they're moving to Dallas next month, then go ahead and list it. If they have somewhere else that they're planning on moving, maybe their house is being built and they don't want to carry both house payments for a while once their new home's ready. So, and just knowing it might take a little longer, you could go ahead and get it listed, get the best photos you can, the best tour, have it staged really well. And I guess that would be my advice.
Okay. So what price points are you seeing? What price points in the houses are you seeing that are going faster than others?
So I've had 3 sales in Cedar Park since the pandemic started, all under 350, all pretty move-in ready. And one of them was off market, but one was multiple offers first day.
Wow.
So, but it's again completely remodeled, newer roof, newer AC. So these are things that are desirable to buyers. Having something to move into, and especially in that price point, finding all those elements is not always easy. So.
Okay. And let's talk about the opposite then. What about if someone is looking to buy a new house? Is now the right time and to buy a house?
I would say it's situational. Like if your job is pretty secure, and my buyers have had situations where they've been renting a long time and they're ready to buy. Their jobs are secure and they were able to get a good rate. And not even that, like they've got to be out of their rental in May or June. You know, for them, it's worth it to go ahead and pull the trigger and buy. And I think in a way the virus helped them, looking in Cedar Park where there's really low inventory, because some people are waiting.
Yeah.
So there could have been a little bit less competition for them.
Okay.
As far as other buyers.
Okay. And so, I mean, are you seeing that? I mean, currently, I know it's just been probably a month of this pandemic and the shelter in. What are you seeing trend wise? Like, are people, is it a buyer's market, a seller's market? What would you say?
It's been a seller's market for a long time.
Yeah.
And I still kind of think just in our area that it is, but there's a little more power to the buyers now. Like the sellers might be more willing to give a little, not knowing with the uncertainty in the economy right now.
Yeah.
Eliminating some people that, think of all the people that have been laid off or furloughed that, now couldn't get financing. But my buyers are still also getting really good rates. So, if that's a situation you're in where your job's secure, you're ready to stop renting, or you're moving to town anyways, you've still got to find a place to live. It's not a bad time because my clients have been getting pretty good rates on their mortgages as well. And a lot of people are also refinancing right now. So that's something else to consider doing if you think you could get a rate.
So what are some of the rates that you're seeing when you say low rates, like for someone who knows nothing about?
Okay. Like in the 3%.
Okay.
Yeah. On a 30-year fixed. So.
Okay. So going back to Fox Realty, are y'all local, national, regional?
So we are local. My broker is in Leander. She offices out of her home. There's 7 realtors under her, I think, maybe 6. I was the first one.
Okay.
And she's really awesome. She's a woman of faith. She has a passion for training agents. She has a passion for giving back. I've just never been part of a team like this. So that's something really awesome about Fox Realty.
Nice. Yeah, recently, I mean, with, being a business owner also, with all of the, the SBA loans, applying for the SBA loans, for during this pandemic and so forth, it really, at least for me, it made me realize how much I wasn't supporting the local business as much as I thought, because so we used to bank with like Capital One, the big banks. And then they didn't have these, SBA loans programs, I think April the 4th, they didn't have it ready. I think it's just now that they're having receiving applications for their clients. And whereas, there's a more regional local bank, Prosperity Bank, that we actually contacted, and it's actually just right by my clinic. Yeah, Kevin Lancaster, the president of that bank, and we got a hold of him and just submitted our application through them. And, they were more than willing to help us, and they got our application in. So so we decided to switch, our whole banking to Prosperity Bank, just because, it's local business, just like yours. We all start from the same place. And we all need that local support to help each other. And a lot of times it's these local businesses that can actually provide better service, because we weren't getting any service from the big banks. And whereas Prosperity Bank has been phenomenal for us in regards to service. So that's the reason why I'm doing these interviews, is to highlight local businesses. And I'm happy to hear that, Fox Realty is based out of Leander. So, I mean, it's just so awesome here.
Back to your banking, we also do a lot we refer a lot of our clients to Amplify Credit Union, which is also a local business. And their service as well is just amazing. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So that's why, that's why I'm doing these interviews, to encourage people, even though, some local national banks, they may have like different products, better products, But at the end of the day, it's like when you need help, who is there to help you?
Yeah.
It wasn't the national banks. It was the local banks that stepped up, because the banks, they're not making any money off of these loans. And so there's no real incentive for them. That's why probably the national banks, national banks are not servicing, because they're not making money off of it. And so,
And realtors kind of have that same thing with competing with online brokerages
mhm,
that offer to reduce fees, but we try to focus on the fact that, we're providing way greater customer service than an online company where you call and talk to someone different every time. And I've seen deals negotiated through those big online brokerages where, it just hasn't turned out well. Like their realtor didn't help them negotiate after the inspection, those kind of things. So, it's the same. It's the same with using somebody you know and trust, and that's available, and getting a better service from them.
yeah, and people that are invested in the community also, because we live in this community, you live in this community, and it's like we want to see our community grow. And so we're going to do everything we can to help our community, versus a national, business or whatever. They're national. They don't, necessarily, I'm not saying they don't care, but there's no incentive for them to care, right? There's no
Yeah,
incentive for them to make sure that the Austin community, the Cedar Park community, the Leander community continues to grow and the residents are serviced. There's no benefit for them necessarily.
yeah.
Nice. So, any last words about, the, going back to real estate, and what are some things that, are there any type of laws changing? Like my wife's a CPA, and your husband's a CPA. And so, there's so many rules that are changing right now because of this
Uh-huh.
pandemic. Is there any rules that are changing in the real estate?
So one rule I can think of, and they've eliminated doing open houses.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that was Austin Board of Realtors or TREC, which is Texas Real Estate Commission, but you'll be seeing a lot more virtual open houses. The builders you have to schedule an appointment. You can't just pop in the model. You could, and you might get lucky, but they're hoping to minimize exposure by doing that. What was the other thing? That would be the main thing I think that happened because of COVID. But another rule that has changed, it's going to be changed as of May 1st, is that you can't market anything coming soon. So a lot of times you might put your coming soon sign in the yard a week before, and sometimes you can sell it without it, hitting MLS. But they're trying to get everything to come through MLS. So it's going to be within 24 hours, I believe, don't quote me on this, of any coming soon, marketing. It has to be in MLS. So you might see more inventory now coming through. I know some people are getting creative and a workaround on that, but that's just something to try to level the playing field, to give everyone a chance at these properties by getting them all online, coming through the system.
Okay. Is that referred to as a pocket listing?
Yes, or like off market is a slang.
Okay.
So some people they don't want their realtor to put their house online.
Why
So
not?
that is a pocket listing. It's like, just talk around to who you know. I sold a house from Kyle King through us having lunch, and he says, "Oh, well, I'm about to list this house," and I said, "Oh, I know someone that wants to buy that."
Mm-hmm.
So, he had it for a while. It wasn't quite ready, and we were just talking about it. So, another house I sold on my street, which closed last week, I had seen a sign on their porch, like propped up against the wall for like 2 months.
Yeah.
My my neighbors who were renters were like, well, we want to buy on the street. And I said, well, let me go see what's happening over there. I've seen a sign on their porch. I was able to call the number on it. I mean, it never went online, and even the sign was never actually in the yard.
Yeah.
So, it does happen where things just line up and it works out.
So what you mentioned that some clients don't want their listings online. Why would they not?
For some, it's a privacy issue. If you're a victim of some kind of trauma in your past, you might not want people to know the floor plan of your house.
Yeah.
You might not want people up in your business, so to speak, like seeing what your house looks like on the inside for whatever reason.
Okay.
So, there's just different reasons people have, and as representing them, we want to respect their wishes and help them sell the home no matter what. I haven't had that personally where someone said, don't put my house online, but I have had situations where I had a coming soon sign in the yard and started getting calls before it went online. We went ahead and put it online, but that's a situation where, if you get the price you want as a seller without having to keep your home show ready for weeks on end, some people are satisfied with that. So
yeah, I was just wondering if there was any type of strategy on getting your house. Is that a strategy to get your house sold faster?
Not putting pictures on, or not putting it online?
Not online, yeah.
I would say it sells faster online.
I would think so too.
For example, some clients of a coworker listed their home like in January, but after like 20 days and getting no offers, they said, take it offline, but keep the word out. So we were including it in our monthly emails within Fox Realty to our clients, like, we have this pocket listing. So you're marketing it that way without it being online, without them having to constantly accommodate showings. So, they have little kids. It's hard to keep your house clean when you have little kids, or picked up 24/7. So, and they didn't have to move. So they were like, well, if it had sold really fast, we would have moved, but it didn't. So we'll just kind of hang tight for a while and keep thinking about it.
Okay.
So there's all different situations.
All right, nice. So where can people find you?
Okay, so I have a business Facebook page, Meredith West Realtor, or meredithwestrealtor.com. Or text Jimmy. He can send you my number. I would love to help you if you're looking in the area to buy or sell, or maybe you need information about your property taxes. I can help with that as well.
Awesome. All right. So thank you for being on the show. And again, this is about local businesses, supporting local businesses, local people, helping the local community, especially during this time of the pandemic. So Meredith, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And we can, we can talk about more if things change.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.